Thank you, Jonathan. Welcome to our 4th annual Gala Ball. It's really nice to see so many of you here again this evening. Holding events of this nature take a lot of time and planning, and I remember sitting in my office probably about 9 months ago now talking to Jonathan, and we were talking about what the theme for this evening should be. Those of you who attended last year might remember that we focused on our work with children and young people, but I wanted this year to be really different because I think it's important that we showcase the myriad of services that we provide to a diverse range of people. So although I think that video that we've just shown gives you a glimpse of that, and obviously some information in your programmes as well, I don't think it actually reflects the reality of what we do. Mental health illness comes in various forms, but one thing that everybody has in common when they have a mental health illness is the feeling of hopelessness. There's nothing more terrifying than having to battle with your own mind every single day. What our services do is show people that although their pain is real, that hope is real as well. They help people to understand that sometimes the darkest of moments can bring us to the brightest of places, that our most painful struggles can grant us the most necessary growth, and that the most heartbreaking losses of friendship and love can welcome the most welcoming people in our lives. What seems like the end of the road is actually just a discovery that we're meant to actually travel a different path. And no matter how difficult things seem, there's always hope. And no matter how powerless we feel or how horrible things seem, we have to keep going. We can't give up. Hope motivates us to persevere into the darkness, to journey onwards despite the obstacles in our way, and despite not knowing how or when or where our life story is going to conclude. And it's through this hope that we help people to realise that it's not learning how to live with, it's not learning to live with the ups and downs, but it's learning how to live with them. That's what we do. We don't allow people to struggle in silence, and we encourage them to share their stories, not as victims, but as survivors, so they too can give other people hope, other people that are struggling just like them. 4 weeks ago today, one of my very dear friends went missing. Luckily for me and other people who know and love Clark was found and is receiving the help that he needs. Sadly, days like that, for many other people, end in tragedy. And there's many lives, families, friends and loved ones who are affected by that, and it's important that we don't forget them. My love and best wishes go out to Clark and Carrie at this time. I know how difficult it is for Carrie, and I think it's really important for us to ensure that we help to support those people who've been affected by suicide. Some of you might be wondering why there's 15 people standing at their tables at the moment. The 15 people standing here now represent the 15 people that will have died by suicide today in the UK. 15 people every single day die by suicide. That's 15 loved ones, 15 families and 15 friends whose lives are also affected. Suicide's the biggest killer of men under the age of 45 than road traffic accidents, assaults and HIV put together. And it's not acceptable that we as a society are allowing that to continue, and much more needs to be done. The needs of those who require our services are calling out for us to innovate and to do things differently, and for me it's really important that we heed that call, and that's why I'd like to thank the West Bromwich Building Society for choosing us as their charity partner of the year, because through the money that they've raised for us, we're now in a position to trial a text line service for people who might be feeling suicidal. Sadly, that money's not going to last that long, and that's why events like this evening are really important to us. I've talked a lot about the hope that our services provide, but what I haven't mentioned are the people who make it happen, and that's my team. I'm really honoured and privileged to be working with a group of people who are so dedicated and who have sacrificed their time with loved ones and family to make sure that we can continue delivering really excellent services. So for that, I'll thank you. And before I finish, I also want to say thank you to our board, thank you to Jonathan, who's my right-hand man when it comes to events like this, to Anil, who bore the brunt of my stress over the last few weeks, and to Lisa, but also thank you to all of you for coming this evening. If there's anything I'd like you to take away from today, it's the knowledge that we can all share some hope with people in our own little ways. Sometimes it's only a little spark of hope that it takes to start a huge fire. Thank you.